this past week, I had a really good week at work, and I took one of my NCOs that works underneath me, but he's a staff sergeant, and offered to pay for him for lunch. Just talking with him, it made me realize what a good NCO that he is. And I've been working with him for almost a year, and just me sitting with him and talking with him and realizing that I have good NCOs, and then along with what me and Jay are trying to do on the videos, it made me just think of another concept. So that's why we're talking about this today. So I just want to put that out there, that it kind of made me think of something for us to hit up on. So once again, y'all, we back. We got the Marine and the Soldier. I got my homie Jay here.
Sit up straight and look at me.
And 16 years in the Marines. He is a instructor right now. He's been in platoon sergeant positions. I'm currently in platoon sergeant in the United States Army. So we're really good friends, and we wanted to get up here and do some videos together. He does video editing and recording. I do video editing and recording. And why not combine the powers to do what we got to do? So with us both being service members, we wanted to get up here and talk about today the good NCOs, good subordinates within the units that work with us. It don't really matter who start, I guess. Jay, you want to start with one? Who you got?
Yeah, I'll start with one. I had a couple. I had one that I really kind of wish would have stayed in the Marine Corps, because I think he would have done. It'd have been great for him to stay, because I feel like his leadership style was like a millennial type leadership style, and it would have transferred well with what we got coming in today. But he had other things, other obligations and stuff that he wanted to do. He's out doing his little fitness thing. He's doing house flipping out here, and he's doing a good job, man. He's out here being just as successful. He got the same discipline he had while he was in.
Okay.
And it's paying dividends for him now in the market that he's working in. I think he's out in Ohio right now. So.
Okay.
But shout out to Chris Pagua. Proud of you, man. Hey, good times back in CLB2. It was a little rough when we first started, but hey, you got what I was trying to instill into you. I'm just glad that you're successful out there, knocking it out the park.
So Jay, with this guy, he used to be your subordinate, and now that he's out of the Marines and he's doing his thing, what ways was he? What good things did he do? The good aspects of being a good Marine non-commissioned officer. How was he such a good guy in the Marines?
First, basically, he was able to, exceed the basic expectations of the Marine Corps, CFT, PFT. He was good in all those areas. I think as far as his leadership style, it was there. It just needed to be directed and molded, if that makes sense. It needs to be molded and, give him more tools. Like, hey, how about you do it this way? Or how about you go about it doing it this way? Mm-hmm. And he was very open to that. He wanted to learn. When I first got there, I was very, like I said, I talked about it last video, I was very on it. I didn't accept nothing less than what I wanted. Okay. We had some small issues as far as getting haircuts or little basic stuff like that, little simple things like that. But once he got on that, I stayed on him. And he started to pick up, and he was like, okay, I understand why you're doing what you're doing. My key thing was I wanted to make sure that he could do my job. Okay. And without him being able to do the basic stuff first, there's no way I was going to trust him to do my job.
Of course.
So just staying on him, being consistent with him, but being fair and allowing him to, mess up, but also allowing him to develop his own leadership style. And it was like one particular thing that I remember, we were doing a CGIR, and what is this Command and Inspector General. Okay. They come down and they do these inspections on us as far as drill. Nice. What we're doing for our commodities in each sections, like the Sapper. I think y'all's is called STAR. That's for sure. Like the sexual assault program. That
ours is called SHARP.
SHARP. That's
right.
it.
There you go.
So
okay.
They inspect that. They inspect the unit for readiness for the most part.
So the Inspector General comes through?
Oh yeah. So it's not like a team. It's an inspector team that comes through. And they come down and they check these areas of operation.
They check y'all drill to make sure y'all know how to do y'all facing movements and all that while in a formation, moving from here to there. Yes. And then they also check your military programs that you guys have?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And they do it every year.
Are they Marines? My bad to interrupt you. They're Marines?
They are Marines.
Wow.
So they either grab them for other units around there, or they come from East or West Coast. But usually it's like another unit that's around, and they'll come in and inspect it and see if we're in coordinates with the Marine Corps orders and regulations, and that we're ready to deploy. Okay. But he was hungry for that. He was like, I want to do the drill portion. Mm-hmm. I want to learn the card, and I want to work the sword. So he was a corporal. So at this point in time, he didn't know how to do sword manual. Okay. So I taught him all sword manual. He ended up doing a really good job. Did really well. I was really proud of him for not knowing how to deal with the sword and actually commanding a platoon with that sword as an NCO, as a corporal.
Okay.
We usually don't do that until we become sergeants and stuff like that. We do it at the drill field.
So he's the corporal, but he's doing sergeant things.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah.
Wow. Okay. When you talk about the sword card and stuff like that, is he kind of commanding the platoon as their...
Yeah, so the sword, we use the sword for sword manual. Our NCOs, when you become an NCO, you're allowed to carry the NCO sword.
Okay.
So that's why we use drill and ceremony. That's how you command a platoon with that sword. He was commanding the platoon, giving them a series of movements that goes to a drill card. We call it a drill card. And like you have to hit certain movements in order to pass that drill card. And that's what he was doing, while we were being expected by another sergeant major from another unit.
I like how you said in the beginning that, you know, there was things that he had some issues with, keeping up with the standards of the haircut and stuff like that. Yeah. You said you gave him some time, he worked on it, he picked up, he understood your reasoning for wanting to do it.
It's like the whole discipline thing. That's one thing that we use to kind of like tie into everything. As far as, hey, like how can I expect you, you know, to lead somebody in battle if you can't uphold a regulation as simple as a haircut?
Right.
You can't get a haircut, but I'm expected to let you lead other Marines while we're in battle or while we're in the combat zone. So little stuff like that, you know, it's a bit of a pushback a little bit because you're like, man, I don't want to do it. It's uncomfortable.
Right.
When it's uncomfortable, you know, it's a little pushback.
Right.
But if somebody's on it constantly, you constantly on it and you don't let up, they'll be like, okay, it's a reason why this is happening. Okay. It's a reason why this is being done. And I liked it because I got to see him transform as a man and a Marine. Okay. And I got to see it, and I liked the transformation that happened in him because I knew he could do it. You know, I knew he could be successful. That's why I showed a special interest because I knew that he could do it.
Okay, I got you.
And that's what I wanted. I wanted the best for him, and I wanted him to be trained as my replacement. Okay. So when I was out, he could do everything I needed him to do, and I had the utmost confidence and faith in his abilities to do that.
Because you trained him.
Exactly.
Got it. So, okay. I think that's cool, man. I like that. For me, I know I got a few different instances of different NCOs. In my eyes, they were really good NCOs. For me, I remember even NCOs that I worked for before I started making my ranks in the Army. I look back at them now and I'm like, yeah, these were really good NCOs. Do you guys have a creed, a non-commissioned officer creed or something like that?
We do.
So do we. And a part of our creed is that our basic responsibility, my basic responsibilities, the accomplishment of the mission and the welfare of the soldiers. So if you can do those, keep those basic responsibilities uppermost in your mind, like it says in our creed, then that's a big major part of doing your job. And I know that I had my NCOs when I was PFC Lynch looking out for me. When they saw things, they would put me in for a certain school, or as I became specialist in Sergeant Lynch, and I look at my awards that I have on my service uniform, and I look at other people's awards that are the same rank as me, and I see they don't have any awards. A lot of times the reason why it's either because they're not performing, and if they're not performing, then it's their NCOs that are not putting them in for those kind of awards and stuff like that, because everybody's working. But I know my NCOs, one way that I know I had good NCOs is because even as an E3 and an E4, I'm looking at other people my rank, and I had a lot of awards, and there's things that I can't even remember, like, dang, I don't even know what I did, you know? But I know my NCOs took good care of me when I was lower in the ranks and stuff like that. So how about yourself? Did you have any NCOs that took really good care of you? I know me and you have talked about some things, and I know otherwise, but I know you had to have at least one NCO in your whole 16 years that was good and looked out for you and did good by you.
I think that I had probably maybe two that really looked out for my welfare. And
that's unfortunate, but at least you had some good ones, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like I said, you know, we talked about it was different. You know, it's different for the they kind of, it's an expectation that they have of you. But there were definitely a couple of them that kept me in line. They kind of told me what I needed to do to be successful. I remember one, Sergeant Reed at the time, Sergeant Reed, Thomas Reed. He just retired as a gunnery sergeant, so shout out to Mr. Thomas Reed now. And I remember one thing that he said that really stuck with me. He was giving me a counseling, and I was wondering why the counseling was, you know, low, because I'm just like, man, like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? What I'm doing?
You said it was a low counseling?
So it was more like it was basic, so it was like normal, like average.
It didn't have a lot of context in
it. And I was just like, so, I mean, you know, I'm doing this and this. I was in this school, I had this type of license, you know. And I'm just wondering, like, why I'm average, because I'm not doing the same thing as my peers are doing, you know. He told me, he said, I watch you and I see how you conduct yourself when you're not in working hours, and how you dress, how your uniform looks, or what clothes you wear when you're out. You have a nice, clean look when you're not working. And he said, you could tell that you take time to make sure that you look good before you go out. And he said, if you could just do the same thing, in uniform,
so he thought
how much better you would be.
He thought that you weren't putting forth any effort into your appearance at work,
yes,
as much as you do outside of work.
Yes,
that's crazy.
Yeah, and he was right, because my uniform was definitely lagging. And he was like, if you take the same energy that you use when you're off duty.
Now, is he talking about your dress uniform or your everyday?
Everything. So what he was doing was tying that into what I do. He's like, you seem like a go-getter when you're not at work. He was pretty much telling me, hey, if you take the same energy that you applying when you're off duty and you apply it to while you're on duty and in uniform, you'd be great. You'd be a stand-in.
Okay.
Because it's like attention to detail type stuff. So it's always a little stuff with us.
But
like
is he only talking about the uniform, though?
Yeah, so the uniform, but it encompasses everything. If that makes sense. So I was telling you, how you, like, it's your appearance. That's what people first see.
Right.
When they look at you, that's the first thing they got to go. So, okay, if you got nasty camis, your sleeves nasty, you look like a bag of trash.
You probably
perform the same way.
I got you.
So he was like, if you take that same approach, and fix that up, hey, you be good, man. Like, you be good. Like, you got the knowledge. You're learning the knowledge. The knowledge is there. Your appearance needs to match up with what you're doing.
Okay.
Because it's a whole Marine Corps concept.
Understood.
And I didn't understand that at the time, because I was a little Lance Corporal, little PFC. I was very early in my Marine Corps career. I probably was in like a year, 2 years. What he was doing was mentoring me and trying to develop me, but I wasn't catching on to it.
Got it.
He stuck on me. He stayed on me. Sergeant Britton was just on me all the time. Bro, I thought that dude did not like me. He was just like on me. And I'm just like, yo, let me get a break. You know what I'm saying? Then Myra Bravo, her and Corporal Stewart, I looked up to them.
Okay.
I had them actually pin me on when I was an NCO.
Nice.
And because I liked their leadership style, and I liked how they, taught me, hey, this is what you need to do. She literally taught me how to roll my sleeves. Okay. Step by step. And I keep that to this day. 16 years later, I still keep what she taught me. And it helps my appearance. My appearance, I've never looked bad ever since. Shout out to y'all, Myra Bravo Stewart. Shout out to you, Sergeant Britton, Ashnell Britton, and Thomas Reed. Yeah, that's what I had when I was coming up. And then, I don't know if I told you about the gunny when I got to California.
You might have. I don't know. Okay. He was a good gunner. He was good.
This man right here, he's the reason why I'm resilient. Because I didn't understand why he put so much responsibility on me as a corporal. Okay. Because I was a senior corporal during that time. Like, I was a corporal the longest. He was like, if the corporals are messed up, it's your fault. Right. And I'm just like, I could never understand what he was saying. But he was saying, hey, like, y'all all individual got that, but you are a corporal. And if the other corporals are doing this stuff, what are the junior Marines looking at? They don't see y'all as individuals. Right. They see y'all as the rank. It's the whole rank. So if one corporal is doing it, I know the other corporal is doing the same thing. Of course. And he was I could not understand what he was trying to get me to see, because he's seen a lot in me. He's seen, even to this day, like, I still talk to this man because he keeps me in the fight, because I'm telling you, there's been times where I'm just like, this ain't. Yeah. I think I'm done with it. And he's like, man, this, God got something for you. Keep your hand in God's hand and follow his footsteps, because he got something for you. And he's like, you always believed in God, even when it was unpopular for you to believe in God. I stay on you because I see something in you. And I know that I know the potential that you have. Keep God first, let it go, and just let him handle it. Sometimes you just gotta let God do what he's gotta do, but you got full faith. Yeah. You got to. And I just, I didn't understand I just couldn't get out. I was like, this dude. And one day he was just like, you mad? Like, what's up? You want to fight? What's up? Wow. And I was like, no, Gunny, I just feel like you be on me all the time. And he was a gunny sergeant. He's Sergeant Major now. Sergeant Major. I feel like you always had something against me. He's like, no, I ain't had nothing against you, man. I see something in you, and I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to let up off of you. So, shout out to him, because like, I wouldn't be in my career where I'm at right now today if it wasn't for that man.
He kept pushing you.
He did.
Got you.
He kept pushing me to my limits. Even when I thought I didn't have any more left, he was still pushing me. So he was building resiliency inside of me, and I wasn't recognizing that. Right. So shout out to him. That's the reason why I'm still here, and part of the reason why I'm the Marine I am today, because of him. So.
Y'all still talk today?
Absolutely.
That's freaking crazy, man.
Absolutely.
I think that's awesome, though. That's how you know you have a good NCO, because even you said when you were a Lance Corporal?
I met him when I was a corporal.
Okay.
Well, I was a Lance Corporal with Sergeant Thomas.
Okay.
And Sergeant Britton.
So still, even though he knew you as an E4, and to this day, y'all still have contact with each other.
Yes, sir.
So I'm in that same boat too. I was an E3, and I remember this is March of 2010. Again, I had good NCOs. They seen something in me. They put me in one of the, at that time, it was a really prestigious school in the Army. Okay. I think now, it still holds the same weight now, but you rarely see anybody going to this school. Okay. Air assault school, man. Air assault. You know what air assault is?
Air assault?
Air assault. It deals with like helicopters, holding like sling load and stuff like that, and stuff like that, right? So
kind of like our London support type.
So that school was coming to the duty station that I was at, and they were like, Lynch, you're going to air assault. At that time, PFC Lynch, I do whatever the NCOs tell me. Yes, Sergeant. I turn to my battle buddy and I'm like, hey, what's air assault school? What's air assault? I had no idea. But this staff sergeant at the time, my squad leader, and if he wasn't my squad leader, he was another squad leader in my platoon. He helped get me through that school. Every day when we went to school, we'd come home from school, Lynch, get up here, because and this is crazy, he was an E6, but he lived in the barracks because he was going through some issues. So he was the only E6 that we knew that lived in the barracks. But he called me, he said, Lynch, get up here and study. And I even tried, hey, Sergeant, I want to come up there and study, but with everybody up there, I kind of feel like, by myself, I'll be better studying. Get up here, Lynch. Yes, Sergeant. So the whole time we was in school, every night, I'd go to his room and we'd study. I wouldn't have made it through air assault school without him. But he found out that I got promoted to Sergeant First Class, and lo and behold, I'm checking my emails, and boom, there he is in there, Sergeant Major now. He was a staff sergeant when I knew him back in 2009, 2010, and now he's a Sergeant Major. But he hit me up, and it's funny because even in the message, he said, Private Lynch, congrats, young man, on making Sergeant First Class. So I know he was messing with me. He called me Private Lynch, but good thing it's crazy that and I think when they get higher up in ranks like that, Sergeant Major and stuff, they're going to be looking around for their old soldiers. They're going to know where their old soldiers are working at, stuff like that, and paying attention to promotion lists and stuff. So he looked up there, he saw my name on the list, he sent me an email telling me congratulations. And then another funny thing I have, so this one always kind of hits me in the gut, and it kind of makes me, you know what I'm saying? I had a battle buddy. I was an E3, or I think I was an E4, and he got promoted from an E3 to corporal. Okay. So remember I was explaining to you, we have two specialists. Yep. So he was now NCO over me, and he moved up through the ranks so fast. He is now a first sergeant. So me and him were in the Army. We joined the Army at about the same time. I remember in 2010 we went to Afghanistan together. So we were there. We were been in the Army about the same time. Just 3 months ago, he was 2 ranks above me. And it's just weird, like, you know what I'm saying? That was my battle buddy, and now he's a freaking first sergeant. Yeah. So if I go see him, I gotta stand at parade rest for him. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Always show respect. But even him, he was the first one to let me know that I was on a promotion list when we were in Romania. He sent me a text message out the blue, and he was like, congratulations. I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, you made the freaking Sergeant First Class list. I'm like, stop lying, man. But even him, good NCO on paper and in the field, you know what I'm saying? And in the fight, everything. He's a great guy, man. He helped me when I was going through drill sergeant school. Because he's a prior drill sergeant, so he gave me his study book, his what do they call it? Drill sergeant candidate book. He gave me his book and everything, and helped me get started on all that stuff. So I've had some good NCOs above me and good NCOs that I work with, man. I know you wanted to talk about subordinates too. You got E3 or E4 and below?
Like right now it's weird because I don't have really anybody because I'm in the schoolhouse. So the last story I talked about, that was the guy that I had. So I had a good sergeant, and he was over there. He was good. I just think he was a little too cocky with it. So I mean, we had some battles with that, and I told him, I said, man, you gotta be humble. You might be good and stuff on paper, you might look good and stuff like that. You might be able to, do this Marine Corps thing. It might be easy for you, but I said, but it's a way that you present yourself in a situation. Don't always be so cocky. Be humble. Stay hungry, but be humble about the situation. Because don't nobody like a cocky person. Usually, a cocky person it's gonna end quick for him. You know, he was good to go. I had the honor of pinning him on meritorious corporal. It was a proud moment for me. I really think that he should have been a drill instructor, and I told him, hey, that's what you need to do. But he was like, man, like they got to me first for recruiting. I said, yeah. I said, you want to take the easy way out, didn't you? And he was like, no, that's what I want to be. I wanted to be a drill instructor. I said, should have cut up what you wanted to, right? If you wanted to, you would have did it, you know?
What I'm saying?
So I make fun of him with that.
What kind of things did he do that like stood out?
I mean, he was always hungry, man. He always wanted to be in those positions. Like, if it was something that came up, he volunteered for it. Hey, I want to do this. This is what I want to do. You know, whatever it was, he was just like, hey, volunteering. That's what he wanted to do. And he did, you know. And it showed, you know. He was good with his MOS. He knew his MOS. He knew Marine Corps. He knew how to be a Marine. And his leadership style was good, too. All I did was add to what he already had. So, yeah, I'm proud of him. And, you know, I still talk to him today, too. He just had I think he just had a baby not too long ago. So congratulations on your little newborn.
Nice.
And your wife and stuff. So yeah.
Okay. I have also another NCO that I know, a big part of the Army, right? And I was telling Jay about this, and I'm sure it's like this in the Marines. We have to take care of things on the lowest level possible. If we don't have to get higher ups involved in it, then as long as we can handle it, then we're good. My commando tells us all the time, something's going on. I don't necessarily need to know if y'all can handle it. Go ahead and handle it. So I know it's
back brief afterwards. Like, just let me know, hey, that happened. Hey, I handled it. This is what I did.
There you go.
Just back brief me in the end. Yeah.
That way they're not surprised if something comes up. Like, you could have told me about this.
Yep.
But I know a soldier who was going through some issues and got his rank taken from him and everything. Gained his rank back, but he's a really resilient soldier. He's a really resilient guy. And I've known this guy same time as I've known my other battle buddy who's a first sergeant now. We came up in the ranks together and all this good stuff. But he was going through some issues, like I said in the past, lost his rank. We just recently got a soldier under my leadership. And this soldier is also going through the same thing that he's experiencing. And it's crazy because this soldier hasn't even been with the unit, hasn't even been under my leadership for not even 2 months yet. So the soldier's already going through something, got arrested, the process of the situation is happening. But what the soldier ends up doing, because it's not set in stone yet what's going to happen to the soldier, the punishment hasn't been discussed yet with the soldier. The soldier was seen going to get involved in the same actions. I don't want to give a bunch of details because I don't want to put them on blast like that. But the same thing they just got in trouble for and got arrested for, they were going to get involved in that same thing. But they were seen this time going to purchase some things, okay? They're allowed to purchase it, but at this time they probably shouldn't be because of the situation that they're currently going through. So what the NCO did that seen her going through this stuff did was pull her to the side and talk to her. And then, since the soldier doesn't work directly for this NCO, what that NCO did was get another NCO that's within that same group that soldier works directly under, and told them, hey, go talk to this soldier, get them squared away, and let them know that this thing that they're doing and about to get into, they probably shouldn't do because of the situation that they're going through. If somebody of higher rank sees them going to do this thing, it's probably going to be really bad for them. So the NCO came and told me, he's one of my NCOs, came and told me, like, look, Sergeant Lynch, this soldier was seen getting ready to do this. I just want to let you know and keep you informed. We talked to the soldier, we put him to the side, and we're going to handle it like this before anything crazy happens. That way we don't have to get higher ups and higher leadership involved into it. A lot of times you'll see that, especially in the Army, even higher ranking soldiers, first sergeants and sergeants major, they'll do the same thing. If they can nip something in the bud and handle it before somebody else gets to it, they will do that. And I think that's a good aspect of taking care of soldiers. And I'll even go as far as to say that I was going through some stuff at a prior duty station, and it wasn't good at all. If I would have gotten caught doing these things that I was doing, I could have lost my marriage, I could have lost my career, I had one kid at the time, I could have lost my kid. Everything would have went down the drain. But I had a good battle buddy who was going through some things, and first sergeant was asking my battle buddy, like, look, you got any other battle buddies? Because just like you said, Jay, if one soldier is in the ranks doing something, then it's probably not just them by themselves. There's other soldiers and other Marines or whatever that's doing it with them. So of course, when I tell this story, people sometimes look at my battle buddy as a snitch, but I look at him as a friend because what he did was help me out. So first sergeant was like, who else is going through things? Who else has some issues too? So my battle buddy told first sergeant, you might want to talk to, I think I was a sergeant at the time, you might want to talk to Sergeant Lynch and see what he got going on because it's not good. So First Sergeant called me into his office, and he said, Lynch, I want you to let me know. I know this whole situation's going down or whatever, and I want you to tell me what you got going on. And I couldn't help it, man, but I started crying in front of my First Sergeant, and I told him, I said, I've been doing this, and it's not right, and I know I could lose a lot. First Sergeant told me, this is the craziest part. He said, I want you to call your wife right now and tell your wife exactly what you just told me, the stuff that you're going through, stuff that you're doing. So I had to call my wife right in front of him. And me and Amber almost got a divorce, man. She left me for a few days. I don't think it was this situation, but I used to like to go out and drink and stay out all late at night and stuff like that without her knowing and stuff like that. And then I'd come back home at like 4 o'clock in the morning and she'd wake up. And then I think too much of that is what made her take Nessa and go and leave me for like 4 days. She went to go visit her friend for 4 days. But yep, there was a lot of instances, this being one particular, where me and Amber almost got a divorce. And then once I told her about this, I had to go enroll into the Army substance abuse program. So I had to go enroll in that, because it's always better to
if you go on your own.
And go on your own and self-refer instead of getting command referred.
Yep.
Once the command refers you,
that's it.
You're caught, you're done. And most likely when it's something big like this, the commander may do a 100% urinalysis on the whole company. Instead of doing that, I went and self-referred. Even sometimes when you go on self-referred, they'll still do
just to do a check and see what's going on. Yeah.
So I did that
job for a while, man.
Did you?
I was a substance abuse coordinator.
I couldn't because
control officer.
I couldn't do it because I had been to the substance abuse program. Once in the Army, once you go to the program, you can't be one of the, we call it the UPL, the unit prevention. The company had urinalysis, and he ended up getting caught. He popped hot. So that's when he told the First Sergeant, like, look, you might want to check on Lynch and see what he has going on. And then I went and self-referred, and everything was good from there, man. But definitely had a good battle buddy for looking out for me, because he could have just left me in the wind, left me hanging.
Could, man.
You know? And I could have handled it on my own, but there's still that risk of I don't handle it on my own and I fall down, you know what I'm saying, into the depths. But
and then there it is, man, because I know about those command and self-referrals. It's always better to be like, hey, I got a problem.
Yep.
You know, I got an issue. And then the Marine Corps will work with you. Well, I know Marine Corps, Army will work with you. Obviously, they'll work with you.
Yeah.
But you have to be, I mean, I guess that's part of you being an adult and understanding and identifying that there actually was an issue.
That's why they look at it like it's a good thing, because you realize that you have a problem going on and you are doing the proper steps to go fix that problem.
Yes.
You know, people, especially with like substance abuse, alcohol, drugs, all that kind of stuff, people do that stuff. And in the military, you can't do it all out in the open. So maybe they have a couple battle buddies doing it with them, but they're doing it in quiet and silence. So for you to get up and to get out of that silence, even though you didn't tell anybody, you go and you try to handle that problem, the Army looks at it as a good thing, and they do work with you on that kind of thing.
Yes, sir.
So
good leadership.
Hey,
good leadership.
That's how it is, man. That's how it is. I know I've had a lot of good NCOs above me and under me that are good. I don't know. I just wanted to get up here today and talk about that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, just so you know, if I didn't mention you, hey, it's no hard feelings. I had certain ones that stuck out to me. Yeah, I had some good Marines, you know. I had some good subordinates and some decent leaderships, but those are the ones that really stood out to me and kept me in the fight. I was proud to, work for and will work for again. If the opportunity ever presented itself again, I would be down to work again or have them under my charge again. So,
that's cool, man. I like that. Did you have anything else, anybody else that you wanted to talk about, or you feel like that's pretty good with that?
I'm pretty good on it.
Yeah. You ready to do let's do the official outro. All right, so we're going to go ahead and knock out this official outro. All right, so thank y'all for coming through and checking us out. Again, y'all just rock with us. It's just something that we're experimenting with it, but I think that we're pretty serious about this thing, and I don't know how far we want to take it, but we're rocking it out. Once again, I want to invite y'all to go check out Jay's YouTube page.
Jay Breeze Flow.
I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna put it down here in the bottom so y'all can actually see what it is this time, and then also make sure you go to the comment section, and I'm gonna pin his YouTube in the comment section, so it's gonna be the first comment in the section. Yes, y'all make sure y'all go check out Jay's unconsensual video.
Yes,
it's a video.
Check it out.
The Army has the sexual harassment and assault response program, right? So Jay, for the Marines, has concocted this video And y'all gotta watch it all the way through, man. At the very end, it's a twist to it. You think it's going one way, but at the end, psh, psh, psh. So y'all go.
Knocking them out.
Yeah, there you go, man.
Element of surprise, man. Element of surprise.
So we're gonna go ahead and end this one. I want to thank y'all for my subscribers and my supporters. SFAM stand up, SFAM salute, stay focused and motivated. Get motivated up in this jank one time. Jay, you want to hit up your?
Hey, sit up straight and look at me.
There you go, man. All right. Okay, so we're going to get up out of here. We're going to talk to y'all soon. Love y'all to death. Y'all stay tuned. We up out of here. Yeah.